I want to pay my obeisances to my spiritual master, Srimad Jagadguru Sudarshan Acharya Ji Maharaj. I want to pay my obeisances to Lord Sri Ramanuj. I want to pay my obeisances to Mother Lakshmi. And I want to pay my obeisances to Lord Sriman Narayan. I want to welcome all of you to our Sunday satsang at the Sri Narayan Dham, Sri Sudarshan Goshala, Durban, South Africa. I want to welcome all of you that's watching this discourse on live feed, locally, nationally, and internationally. And I want to welcome in advance those of you that are going to be watching this live feed in whichever group it is posted from around the world. And to welcome those of you that are present here in this satsang, and I'm giving you a special welcome because I am very pleased that on the 23rd of December, on a Sunday morning, you could be sitting here in satsang in appreciation of what this institute has done for you and going to be doing for you. The rest of the world is getting up from a hangover. So it pleases the Guru to see the soldiers against Kaliyug sitting in readiness to attack the vices that are present in this Kaliyug. My topic for discussion today is very simple. Sanatan Dharma clears all confusion. Sanatan Dharma clears all confusion, all in big, bold, capital letters. But we're going to trace in a sequence a commonsensical and logical understanding of what I am about to say. So when we notice around us, when we look around us, we identify ourselves as human, and scientifically we are identified as homosapiens. This identification informs us that we are the highest form of living entities on this earth, wherein we accommodate our desires by ourselves. We have capacity to fulfill desires. We form ourselves into groups and communities. Then we subdivide ourselves into 4 social orders. Some of us become priests, pastures, and maulanas, and the society looks upon us as intellectuals. Then we divide ourselves to form governments and members of governments. to rule the society that we live in. Then we form ourselves into business people to earn a living and to create an opportunity for others in our community to earn a living as well. And some of us are placed and born in a situation where we cannot, in our current situation, be priests or govern people or become businessmen. Then we seek employment from any of these three above sources to earn a living and to fulfill our desires. Is this not a natural order of our society? So whenever we are in a problem where we cannot find appropriate answers, then depending on which religious grouping we belong to. Religion means a set of rules. Religion means a set of rules. So whichever religious society we belong to, through that set of rules imposed upon us by that particular religion, we try to seek from the head of that grouping, either the pastor, the maulana, or the guru, solace from those things that are troubling us, which cannot be fixed through the societal hierarchy. Because there is a seeking within us, which the doctors have no solution, the lawyers have no solution, the mathematicians have no solution, the engineers have no solution. And we believe that if we want a solution in this regard, then we must go to these mystics and find a resolve from these people who have portrayed that they understand the mysteries that are beyond our mental faculties. So when we find somebody that answers a question that is palatable to us, what we want to hear, then this person becomes the leader of a particular religious or spiritual organization. Since time immemorial, by the very nature of the human body, man has been trying to find answers. Since time immemorial, through the instrument of the human body, man has been trying to find answers that do not exist in the current infrastructure that we have found ourselves. 500 years ago, man had the same question. 400 years ago, man had the same question. 300 years ago, man had the same question. 200 years ago, man had the same questions. 100 years ago, man had the same question. And today, man has the same. questions. 500 years ago, there was no technology. Today, we have technology. 1,000 years ago, there was no paper. And if man had to write, he wrote on papyrus leaves. Today, we have newspaper. And if you want to write, you pick up an instrument that already has all the alphabets on it, all the numerals, and all the symbols that you need mathematically. Now you don't even have to think. You type in 53 minus 20 and you get an answer, 30. Still, with all this advancement in technology, man is still seeking. If man is seeking since time immemorial, and today, with all that we have available, man is still seeking, it means the fundamental of what he is seeking has not been satiated. Or had it been satiated, then there would be no need to seek. This evidences itself that civilization, material civilization, is not an answer to man's seeking. Technology is not an answer to man's seeking. Living in skyscrapers, not an answer to man's seeking. Flying to the moon, not an answer to man's seeking. Satellites, instant images. Like today, this broadcast can be picked up on any corner of Earth. Still, man is seeking. Man is thirsty. So, leaders have found imitation thirst quenches. Leaders have found imitation thirst quenches, and our current society is in a fashion to follow leaders that can quench your thirst without identifying the substance that your thirst is being quenched with. What is causing this banner to shake? Why is it cloudy and overcast today? Who pushed and what pushed the clouds into its current position? Why can't we see the sun? The formation of the clouds have been created by whom? And what happened to our family members that had passed on? There's always been, in all religion, two dimensions mentioned to us. If you do good, you'll go to heaven. If you do bad, you'll go to hell. Who has experienced these two dimensions? Where did this information originate from? There is no information that is present without origination. Information cannot be grasped from mid-air. It must have a source. All information must have a source. What is the source of all information? Who sources this information? And to what is this information sourced to? What is knowledge? These questions have boggled man since time immemorial. Some of us too busy in being born, living, and then dying, that although these questions enter our thoughts now and again, we do not arrest these thoughts and satiate them. We expect others to do this for us. We just go on living. And when we explain these phenomena, then we say, it does not apply to me, I'm still young. Until one day, you find yourself in Apex. Then some of us may say, I don't care. When I'm in a box, I'll see what I'll do then. When I am in a box, then I'll work out what needs to be done. Right now, I must go on in my merry own way. When I die, I'll work that part out. So these questions arise every day. Why is it me? When you look around, you see the same people that you joined, that you grew up with, are on one end of the societal spectrum, and you on the other end of the societal spectrum, and you want to know why me. You'll find two children born as twins from the same set of parents. One is a judge and the other is a criminal. How is that possible? So if you believe in this one life theory and those religions that believe in one life theory, then we have a God that is totally biased, unfair, and cruel. We have a God that is biased, cruel, and unfair. Don't you think? Why must one country be rich and the inhabitants of another country poor? Why must one society be rich and another society poor? Why should there be differences in humans? Why should there be differences in humankind? If this is a once-off setup. Is there an explanation somewhere in this universe that is logical and that can satiate this query conclusively? Can we find an answer to these mysteries? Somewhere. Can we go to scientists? Sudasha, can you give us answers to all of these questions? Scientists are refusing. Can you go to analyst who captures all the data?
Can you ask the questions?
Okay, analysts are only asking the questions. Can we ask our guru in the back? Guru got no answer. And anyone watching this on live feed, you may answer. So if we take all the scientists together and give them a year, you think they will be able to answer these fundamental questions that have been boggling the minds of humans since time immemorial? No. The answer has always been there since time immemorial. When you buy an appliance, together with that appliance, you get a booklet called, instruction manual. You buy a vehicle, you will get an instruction manual with the vehicle. And when you build a house, you will get an instruction manual how to build a house. Whatever you do in life, there is an instruction manual. And to answer these very simple questions, there is an instruction manual that emanates from a system that is absolute, that is called Sanatan Dharma. There is a system that is called Sanatan Dharma that is absolute, like that microwave. When you get a manual relative to your microwave, then that manual must be absolute. Absolute in the sense that it must account for every screw and every size of screw, every wire that is in the microwave, every switch that is in the microwave, every IC that is in the microwave, and every electrical component, right down to its voltage and amperage in the microwave. That manual must have information as it is for that microwave. And similarly, there is a set of instructions that describes this universe. Every sand, every grain of sand, every molecule, every particle, every atom, the ray of the sun, the position of the moon, the distance of the moon, the distance of the sun, the distance of all the planetary systems, the diameter of this universe. There is a manual in a system called Sanatan Dharma. And that manual collectively is called the Vedas. And primarily there are 4 Vedas, supplemented by 18 Puranas. The Ramayana and the Mahabharata. There is no information in this universe. There is no information in the universe that is unknown. So is there any reason to be mystified and mind-boggled? All you have to do, if you want to understand how the government of this country works, you have to go find your local councillor. Go sit in his office and ask him, if he's not too busy collecting, ask him how the system of this government operates. And he'll tell you how the municipality operates, how the provinces operate, and how the country operates. If you want to know mathematics, then go look for a mathematician in your society, in your area, and the mathematician will inform you how maths work. And if you want to know how this universe operates, how it was created, what its age is as of today, then you have to find a Vaishnavite guru, a Vaishnavite Satguru, a Vaishnavite Jagat Guru, a Vaishnavite. Other gurus don't know. Other gurus don't know. You have to find a Vaishnavite guru. There are 2 types of transcendentalists. One are personal, who believe that there is a supreme personality of Godhead, and another type that believes in the impersonal aspect of God. Those that believe in the impersonal aspect of God believe that this universe is an illusion. How the hell they believe this? I'm sure even God is mystified. They will sit, they have a huge following, they will sit and brainwash our modern society in colleges, universities, and in their own congregation. They will talk to educated students. If you ask them how creation takes place, they will tell you, just worry about yourself. Don't worry about creation for now. Okay? And the reason is, they don't know. Reason is, they don't know. You know, as you were growing up, you asked your parents those sticky questions where they had no answer now. They said, just be a good boy, I'll explain later, I'm too busy. So these impersonal gurus, they have limited spiritual capacity. They have limited spiritual capacity. They'll teach you how to live. They will teach you how to live. And they have many followers because everyone wants to know how to live successfully in this material universe. Vaishnavite gurus will teach you how to die. Vaishnavite gurus prepares you for your death, because these impersonalists cannot answer why one child is born from a set of twins as a judge and another is a criminal. They have no answer. But a Vaishnavite guru will tell you that the fundamentals, the substratum of Sanatan Dharma is karma and reincarnation. And if you take karma and if you take reincarnation, this entire universe, the mist of confusion disappears like when the sun shines in a misty place. There is no longer confusion if you understand the principles of karma and reincarnation. And the answer is very simple. One son was a criminal in his previous life, and the other son was divine in the previous life. He came to enjoy his merits as a judge, and the other came to suffer his merits as a criminal. God is absolute. This universe is absolute. Millions of universes with this universe that is coexisting currently are absolute. The Vedas are absolute. The speaker of the Vedas is absolute. The writer of the Vedas is absolute. The enactor of the Vedas is absolute. So the choice is yours. If you want any question answered in any aspect of this universe or your life, go find a Vaishnavite guru, not a impersonal guru, because he still has a lot to learn, probably more than you. Probably more than you. Okay? So when you find a Vaishnavite guru, that questioner you will find was not your body. It was an entity that is within the body. And when you satiate that entity that is within the body, that entity within the body achieves a state called self-realization. Self-realization means I am not this body, I am an entity that's living within this body because of my previous karmic activities. And if I conform to certain regulative principles as set out by my Creator, then this will be my last material body which I will use as an instrument to experience my karmic merits. Sanatan Dharma is the only system in this universe that can comprehensively answer every question that will pop up in your mind. And Sanatan Dharma is not a religion. Sanatan Dharma belongs to all of mankind. Sanatan Dharma, Sanatan is not a Hindi word. Dharma is also not a Hindi word. Sanatan means eternal, and Dharma means duty. And it is the eternal duty of every man to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead through serving another man or society. So if you're a practitioner of Sanatan Dharma, you will see your Maker face to face. You will see your Maker face to face. And this is the duty of Sri Vaishnavite Gurus. So these speculator gurus, they will talk in very good English. They'll capture and deviate your mind. You can ask them a direct question and they'll give you 500 indirect answers. If you ask them why it is cloudy today, they will tell you why the sun is not shining. All right? We are warned in our scriptures of these professional, they are called professional reciters. You will see they have their own helicopters, boats, private jets. Okay? They call themselves gurus. Guru is a Sanskrit word. It's not an English word. I see now it has been merged. There's a fashion guru. You've heard of the fashion guru. There's a food guru. Okay? There's a music guru. They've taken guru very, very lightly and mixed it all over. Guru means darkness. G-U in guru in Sanskrit means darkness. And R-U means light. Guru with the two syllables joined means from darkness to light. And if a guru cannot give you all the answers, it means he cannot take you from darkness to light. Kabir, then you will tell me, Acharyaji is light. I can see light all over. Why do I need guru? Do you only need a guru night time? Or you only need a guru in load shedding? Because G-U means darkness, R-U means light. What darkness? What is that darkness? Vasan, don't get insulted. Today I'm not insulting. What is that darkness? You think Vasan needs a guru 24 hours? You think that is why he stuck to his guru? Darkness from the questions that the soul is seeking. The soul, as long as it is not satiated with transcendental knowledge, you will go from life to life. From human life even to godly life. You can become a god. But as long as that soul is not fully satiated through a process called self-realization, you will always need a guru. You will always need a guru. Like until you don't get your law degree, you'll always need a lecturer in law. After your degree, you can tell your lecturer about it. Unfortunately, after your self-realization, you cannot tell your guru about it. Your guru is with you in this lifetime, he was with you in your last lifetime, and he will be with you in your future lifetime if you do not come out of this darkness. So the source of all spirituality is in a land called Bharatvarsa. Bharat Varsa, V-A-R-S-A, And that land today, after being divided many, many times, is called India. Source of spirituality is in India. God in all his manifestations has appeared in India. The purity of the Ganges River is true. Wherever God resided is true. The tree that Lord Shri Krishna played on, I had an opportunity through special clearance by the official to see exactly where he played. And we have photographs and videos of his footprint on the tree. We also have photographs and videos where he went into the trunk of the tree when he stole the butter, or when he was hiding from his. That tree still exists today, and this is called spiritual science. Material science, up until they discovered they were wrong, called themselves absolute. Spiritual science is always absolute. We cannot take a yardstick of spiritual science and measure it with a yardstick of material science. Material science will always be called Divashni catch-up kids. Material science will always be called catch-up kids. All right, Divashni? You heard of the term long time ago? Yes. Spiritual science will always be absolute. It doesn't matter how many degrees you have or how great a scientist you are. Okay? It does not matter. If you take spiritual science as your yardstick and bring material science to spiritual science, you will be the most successful scientist on this planet. Because the absolute truth can never be changed. Relative truth is only relative to one aspect of the absolute until that aspect disappears. Okay? Are there any questions? Vishishtadvaita Ramanuj Das, Swami Vishishtadvaita Ramanuj Das, and Swamin Lakshmi Ramanuj Dasi. Are there any questions? Sugeshan Ramanuj Das, Swami Sugeshan Ramanuj Das. Are there any questions? Ganesha Ramanuj Das. Any questions? Ram Ramanuj Das. You don't want to discuss your bridge? Who? Ask any question. Shalan?
He wants to know why his eyes closed. Only satsang.
There are devis and devtas that control all bodily movements. Okay? And even the blinking of the eye is controlled by God. By a God. I said there's a difference between God and Lord. Sanatan Dharma states that there is only one Lord, Lord Sriman Narayan, and 33 million gods and goddesses. one Lord, Lord Sriman Narayan, 33 million gods and goddesses. And they are in charge. Closing your eyes. Any other questions? So before we end this discourse, I stated that the source of all spirituality is India. And it is ironic that these gurus take the birth in India and preach impersonally, where God himself descended and showed his form in that specific country. There are a set of gurus that's advocating impersonal. This theory was booted out by Lord Sri Ramanuj 1000 years ago. The impersonalist theory was booted out by Lord Sri Ramanuj 1000 years ago. So now these gurus are not stating impersonalism, but they practicing impersonalism. And they brainwashing all the students and the kids. All right? That guru, Adi Sri Shankaracharya, who expounded the impersonalist theory, only lived for 32 years. He started studying the Vedas at the age of 12 or 13. From 12 to 30, how many years? 18. Lord Sri Ramanuj lived for 120 years. 120 years. It took him 60 years to research, collate, synthesize, and make Vedanta coherent. How many years? 60. Who would you believe? Someone who studied for 18 years or someone who studied for 60 years? Whose research was more in detail? Who would you believe? Someone who took 5% of the Vedas and stated that the 95% is untrue, or somebody that took 100% of the Vedas and said the entire 100% is true. God has no form at a certain aspect, and God has form in the ultimate aspect. Who will you believe? Can you take out a set of laws in any constitution and state that that is the actual law? If you get caught for drunken driving and you are the president of the country, can you get that law removed, despite you being the president of the country? You understand? So this is what Shankaracharya did. He took from the Upanishads those verses that suited the impersonal aspect of God, and he stated that the rest is false. What gave him the authority to make that decision? Who gave him that mandate to make that decision? Who was he mandated from? The very fact that he took some information from the Vedas links him to Sanatan Dharma. He is not of another religion. So I've read his invocation to the Bhagavad Gita that he made a commentary on. Who? Sri Adi Shankar in the year 800. And he pays his obeisances, guess to who? Lord Narayan. And he states in the Bhagavad Gita invocation that beyond material creation is Lord Narayan. All of you understand? So we reject Adi Shankar and all his commentaries and his writings as false. And we accept all of the Vedas as absolute. And we accept Lord Sriman Narayan as the cause and effect of these material universes. And in acceptance, all your questions can be answered. I used not verdict injunctions. I used common sense and logic to bring you up to this point today. Whatever you want to do with this common sense and logic, it is your choice. Since time immemorial, the very first guru to obliterate in public debates around India was Lord Sri Ramanuja. And it is the duty of every Ramanujan placed any part of the world, when they find these impersonal gurus, not to shy away and give them ground. Because if you do not curtail cancer in your body, it spreads. And this impersonalism is spreading throughout India, the very source of the Supreme Personality of Godhead whenever he visits us. So it is a duty of every Ramanujan. Do not be afraid how many helicopters and jets these people have. They have no verdict substance. Jai Shri Ramanuja.